You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
In a world filled with chaos and confusion, in an echo chamber filled with lies and deceptions, comes a ray of light. Live from Madison, Wisconsin, it's John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
Welcome again to another great day, beautiful day in the neighborhood. John and Gordy with you on WMDX 92.7 on the old radio dial as you're driving into work this morning or just hanging out, sipping a cup of coffee, wondering what is going to happen today that may change your life forever.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Rise and shine. Shake a leg up and at 'em. Top of the morning to you. Hey, it's your happy-go-lucky morning team here.
Well, you bet.
Biff and Tony.
You bet.
Albert's in the producer booth there. How you doing there, Albert?
I'm doing all right. I've never seen you guys this upbeat on a Monday. That was amazing.
Well, you're always
said
so
a funny
clever,
thing
man.
there.
I'll
That
tell
was
you,
funny.
that's something else.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
Oh, wait. I don't know. It's Monday. Just trying to, get the energy level up.
Isn't it Bob and Tom that used to do that all the time, right? They just
Bob
laugh
and Tom
forever.
And they have 5 or 6 or 10 people in the studio.
Yeah.
Everybody laughs at everything.
Yep.
That's old Zoo Radio at you. Yeah, Bob and Tom. I think they're still on the air.
I think they are. It never ends.
They're older than we. Actually, Bob retired years ago, like 5 or 6 years
Well,
ago.
he's AI voice now. So
Okay, that's how that
actually,
works.
I don't know.
I
Then
don't
they
know
must
either.
not be on the air anymore if you retire.
No, I think they're on, but he retired. They still call it the Bob and Tom Show, even though Bob has nothing to do with the show. It hasn't for years, but yeah. That's
Well, if
what
I
they
ever
call it.
leave, just keep calling it the John and Gordy Show.
Oh, okay. Why, are you planning on leaving soon? Or?
No.
Okay, you scared me there.
Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking, maybe, someday they'll come in here, and say, you guys are pretty old.
Well, that's ageism. They can't. Can they do that?
We can't discriminate on age, but we're just
you guys suck.
Just
so
giving you
you're gone.
giving you a warning,
Yeah.
If you sound any older, you're out of here.
By the way, I saw the Spinal Tap 2 over the weekend.
Oh, you did?
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just got to say. I thought it was even funnier than the first one, but now I'm starting, maybe not. But it's really good. It's just all about old, aging rock stars. So people our age will enjoy it because we get all the references and all the funny stuff that they say all the way through. Really good.
So there were any, radio announcers so old that they...
No, they didn't have any radio announcers.
Isn't that weird?
It was all about them sort of getting back together for a reunion one more time to do one more big concert, and that was the theme basically.
Well, that's pretty cool.
But a couple of cameos in there from some rock stars, and I think we've mentioned who shows up in that movie.
Was Greg Marcus in there as well?
I did not see Greg Marcus. I went to actually see this at the Flicks Brew House.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been there?
No,
It's really interesting.
I really want to go there.
But there were no lead-up commercials, no previews at all.
I was going to say, Greg had one more bit. They did 2 bits to promote Spinal Tap.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I never saw the second one that he did. I'm sure they ripped into him.
Yeah.
They ripped into him on the first one.
It was really good. Harry Shearer and Christopher Guest and Michael McKean and, Rob Reiner. And, they flashed back a few times to previous stuff from the first movie. Yeah. Just very little of that. I thought there would actually be more of that, but they did it. It was very good, I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of laughs in there, and it's only 90 minutes.
Wow, I was going to say,
moves-
was it 2 or 3 hours?
No, they moved it right along. I think they did a lot of. They did a lot of editing, made it really tight, and yeah, it was good.
Well, I can't
Funny
wait
stuff.
to see it.
Yeah,
I really can't
Yeah,
wait.
you'll enjoy
so
it.
it has officially been released at this point.
Yes.
All right.
They did have it at the Marcus in Sun Prairie, but they only had one late show. It was like one show, 9:30 or something. Like, why? And then I found it at the
What night
Flicks.
did you see it? Thursday night?
Friday night, maybe Saturday night. I can't remember.
okay.
It's all a blur.
Wow, that is a blur. Right. Well,
I think it was.
you're taking some kind of
I think it
special
was-
thing on the weekend that I'm not aware of. That's okay. Don't
I think it was
share.
Saturday.
Don't share.
I think it was Saturday. I think. I don't know.
doesn't know.
I don't. Well, it was late. It was 4:50.
It's either
I know
Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Well, these are quite wide open.
Pretty certain it was Saturday.
All right. No,
wait.
Don't try to.
No, wait, it was Friday.
Don't try
No,
to fix
Saturday.
this.
No, okay.
It's all over.
Never
It's
mind.
all over.
Weather today, it's 58 degrees currently, nice and cool. We could be in for some showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms late afternoon, highs in the upper 70s.
You know, we're so old that they even could tell us that we're done, we're finished. You know, you're too old for being on the radio, and we'd forget the next half hour.
That's right. We wouldn't know. We'd
We'd
just
come
show up
back
anyway.
again.
We've got our Go for the Green and Gold text to win contest starting in a little later on in the show after 7 a.m. We've got an early morning call here. Should we go into that?
A lot of people don't know that we can't say the sports teams' names. Is that correct?
Yes, we just have to say Green Bay versus Minnesota.
There you go.
There's a lot of legalities involved
Yeah,
here.
boy, they
so-
really hold on to those copyrighted
God,
names.
It's just silly.
All right. Let's go to Matt in Middleton.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, if you look at global news, I can't think of any time in history that a government or an administration has failed so miserably and bigly, rather bigly.
Bigly.
And greatly.
Bigly.
Yes.
With his big, magnificent orange brain of his. So
Yeah.
it turns out that China is making inroads with their Silk Road initiative, and Afghanistan, with China's help under the Taliban, will be investing billions in building a new green city, complete with trees, urban landscapes, so on and so forth. And their trillions upon trillions worth of rare earth minerals and goods will be available to China and the global South, while America falls to fascism with its tail tucked between its legs.
Yeah. Trying to bring
And it's
business
just
here.
astounding.
We can't bring all those minerals to this country. We can't do anything like that. So we're disconnecting all our relationships simply because we want to bring business to this country, even though we don't have a lot of the resources that are required.
No, and then George Kemp of Georgia is about to go on an apology tour to South Korea because the racism there under ICE lost them 8,000 jobs and billions of dollars.
Yep.
And the South Koreans are all laughing at us, going, well, they're obviously afraid of China. That's why they're picking fights with their allies instead of China, the supposed real foe, you know.
Yeah.
It's just laughable if it wasn't so sad. But have a good week.
Yeah,
Love you
thanks for
guys.
bringing us down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt.
Making us aware of all the things we're losing.
Yeah, if you'd like to chime in, 608-879-8255. Okay.
All right.
So a little bit later on, we're going to find out about Vegan Fest. And we'll have a couple of guests in the studio talking about that. That's coming up soon. And WMDX Radio is involved with that get-together. And did you notice we have a new poll question out there? My laptop is not working correctly. It says that it's on, but I've got there's a blank screen here.
Well,
So,
I actually helped with that.
the poll question?
I had texted Catherine over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Because it occurred to me, well, this would be a really hot question to ask.
What question?
And that is that should we disconnect?
What do you mean?
Should we disconnect our cable so that we get back and we get even with the networks. That's not the question exactly.
I have the question exactly.
Well,
though.
why? I know you're looking right at it.
I'm looking right at it.
It'd be great if you interrupted me here.
Let us twist in the wind over here. Come on, jump in.
All right. So the poll question is: are you planning to cut the cable cord, like you said, to protest the networks bowing to the Trump administration?
There you go. I came up with that, and I gave 3 answers.
Yes.
I had to come up with a 4th. Catherine was very insistent on that.
Well, you can always lean on none of the above. I mean, throw that in.
Yeah.
Never. Okay. Well, these are push questions.
Yes.
We're really trying to get an answer.
Yes. So the first question is yes, temporarily, and that has no votes. Mm-hmm. Yes, but I am still using streaming services, which has 50% of the votes.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And then no, it hurts too many people working at the networks who had nothing to do with company decisions. That also has 50% of the votes.
Okay.
And then the last one is no, I support Donald Trump's efforts to clean up late night television.
There you go.
That has 0% of the votes.
I know.
Okay.
Cleaning up late night television was always just top of my list.
Oh, my God.
What is wrong? The thing is, the megas, please, CJ, my Milwaukee friend in Milwaukee, I really have to ask them, do you not see this as something wrong with Trump? Every comedian is not funny. They're a disaster. They're a loser. Every comedian is like that.
Except the Fox comedians.
Well, there aren't any.
They do that Greg Gutfeld show late at night.
Those are just talk show hosts. Those aren't comedians.
It's supposed to be funny.
Well, yeah, I guess. It's not.
No.
It's depressing.
Right.
So I guess that's their form of humor, is a depressing humor. But again, no comedian to Trump who criticizes Trump is a funny person. So you got to wonder about the personality, this trait that Trump has about hating people, not liking people, rejecting people who don't like him. He should just be able to accept that, but he cannot do that.
He's got thin skin.
Malignant narcissism is what they call it.
Okay.
And I also have stated before, I think it's paranoia. This guy is so paranoid. He thinks everybody's out to get him, always looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's got a real serious problem with that. And another guy that has that serious problem is RFK Jr. And that's a bad combination.
That's true.
When it comes to public health, you can't have somebody who's paranoid. Well, those drug companies have purchased all the politicians.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, that seems unlikely, but yeah, go ahead. Make public policy on that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sad state of affairs, that's for sure.
It is. We've got a malignant narcissist and paranoia rampant in this administration.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, that's a happy thought.
Mm-hmm. It's 19 minutes past the hour. The Packers and Badgers both lost this weekend.
Yes, they did.
But the Brewers clinched the National League Central Division.
They lost too.
But they still clinched the division.
Yes, they did.
So that was the good thing. We're just getting going on this Monday morning. Again, a little later on, it's our Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest in our 7 o'clock hour. And also, we'll find out about Vegan Fest. It's all coming up on John and Gordy for a Monday morning right here on WMDX.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Tell us why.
The whole day down.
Shoot the whole day down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
They're starting to shoot at ABC affiliate stations.
Are they? Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's our trending news.
That's awful.
Yeah, you got to know that whatever agenda you have and you're pushing as the administration, it ain't working if people starting to shoot TV stations, okay? It's not working. You're not bringing people together. You're not calming people's nerves. You're not getting out there trying to put an end to this before it gets worse. Nope. you're just kind of letting things get out of hand, and that's what's happening out in Sacramento, California. A man was arrested after shooting at ABC affiliate stations.
That's awful.
What the heck, Wow. Well, I hope the building didn't die.
Well, and there are people from all sides of the aisle working in that building. It's not. I mean, you think, oh, I'm going to go after the liberal reporters, or there are people behind the scenes there. There are people from all political stripes in that building.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
And you don't know whether they're shooting at the building because, ABC played Kimmel.
Right.
And
they're mad about it.
Or that ABC is bowing to Trump, therefore somebody's shooting at it because of that.
Right.
We don't know, and we'll probably find out soon. Unless they start blaming liberals and the left right away, which I assume they will. Get a little traction, get some mileage out of it before it's corrected later.
Perhaps. Hey, it's the first day of fall, by the way.
Oh,
So,
yes, that's right.
congratulations.
Yes.
We made it this far.
Wow.
Do we have a Would You Rather lined up there, Dominic? Oh,
Sounds like we do.
I'm surprised Trump hasn't changed the first day of fall.
could he do that? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, baby.
Take
All
it
right.
away, Dom.
First question.
Okay.
Would you rather people know all the details of your finances or all the details of your love life? Sorry, guys. This was an early morning
What
question.
is the matter with I don't want him to know anything.
You gotta choose. You gotta choose.
I need... I don't know. What do you think, John?
I would do.
Well, I've got a checkered past, so I'll go with the
Finances?
finance.
I gonna say.
It's more above the board.
Yeah.
I'll do finances too.
Yeah, I'll go with that,
I'll
too.
go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's probably
whatever.
all right.
People want to see that, they can. All right. Second question. Would you rather have to hunt and gather all of your food or eat McDonald's for every single meal?
Hunt and gather.
Hunt and gather?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm going to do McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah, I love
For
McDonald's.
every single meal?
So,
Oh, my
you're
God.
going to die early.
Yeah.
But, I hunt and gather every day, every hour of the day in my kitchen. So it's nothing new. It's what I do.
Do you do the grocery shopping, or does Ann?
I do most of the grocery shopping.
Yeah?
Most of the grocery.
Yeah, every once in a while she goes out and she has a few recipes in mind, things that we haven't had in a while. So she goes out and gets the ingredients for that, and that's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I usually get the stuff.
You've got a lot of cupboards, though, in your house.
We do.
So that's why you're having to hunt and get.
The cool, and they're jammed,
Yeah.
But the cool thing was the house was built by a guy who had a business building cabinetry.
That explains it.
Yeah.
There's
It's
cabinets everywhere.
pretty good cabinets too.
Yeah.
Pull-out drawers, the whole shooting match, pantry.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Well, that's
Okay, is that
that's
it
one of
for-
the reasons why we got the kitchen the way we did. We went to a whole bunch of houses, but when that kitchen just presented itself, we thought, oh my gosh, we're buying the house just for the kitchen. Don't people look at the kitchen and say, it's got to have a great kitchen, or we're not buying this house, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I remember when you got the house, and it was kind of out in the country there. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's in Middleton, so not totally out.
It wasn't
in the country,
all really,
but it wasn't built up
Yeah.
around Middleton yet.
Yeah.
Right. All the
Yeah.
big buildings on the other side of the Beltline were not there.
I don't even know if the beer garden was there. It might have been,
Yeah,
but I can't remember.
I don't think so.
But it's really built up, and it's fantastic. That house, the thing about our kitchen is we can do our cooking and watch TV at the same time, and that was a must-have.
It is.
When we were looking for houses.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, are your new speakers all hooked up? And everything?
Yeah, I got my new speakers
But they
in.
sound the same as your old
It does
speakers.
sound the same.
That's too bad.
Damn, I was really hoping for a little crisper sound, but they do sound the same.
Okay.
They're all set up for Atmos now.
Nice.
Yes, Atmos speakers.
Yeah.
At least, that's the one thing it has. You can't hear it, but it has that.
Okay. Did you close the books on Would You Rather? Did you close that out?
We have to close it out still.
Yeah, I feel like
you guys are talking.
See, seems like we could go back into it
This is
if
it.
we don't close it out.
I know. We always end up with it. So bad.
No idea what
It's getting worse.
What he says.
That was terrible.
Okay.
Well, you might want to change that.
I'm going to start changing it now. Yeah. I'm going to add more reverb.
If
And
you
maybe
could.
it might sound better if I
If you
add
could.
more.
See if people can notice the change.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That'll be the next poll question.
Deal.
We got so much coming up later on. I mean,
I know.
truly, the Kirk Memorial. A lot of people showed up for that, and one of the standout speeches, of course, was Stephen Miller.
Oh, gosh.
We've got that coming
Oh,
up.
man.
That is something else. I mean, visions of Hitler in my head.
Yes. Okay. We've got Idiocracy right around the corner. First up, the Midwest Food and Farm Report. And in our next hour, the Go for the Gold, Green and Gold Text to Win contest. It's all coming up on John and Gordy in the morning on WMDX Radio right here, right now.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
Yep.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Well, I know that the country's not going to survive it. I mean, we're 7 months in, and it's all over. I don't want to sound depressed or anything, but I called this. It's an authoritarian government, a dictatorship immediately. I could see that happening, but once you start it in motion, you're there.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to wait until it's fully put in place.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg had something to say about it. This is a different
Yes.
cut from the one we
Oh, it is?
used the other one
Do we
last
have that?
week. I believe we have that.
All right.
Yeah.
Which cut is it? Do you have that?
It's labeled Buttigieg on NPR.
Yeah.
I think Dom has it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's check that out. This is a perfect cut.
Yeah.
I presume you don't think Trump is a good president.
No.
Do you see him as a bad president who's wrong about a lot of things, or as an existential threat to democracy in this country?
I would go well beyond bad president. There are presidents who you disagree with and presidents you agree with. This is, I think, categorically different. We have not had a president, left, right, or center, who has tried to destroy companies, universities, and broadcasters who criticize his government. There's been rough and tumble politics all through U.S. history, but that is not just different, it's different in a way that offends every fiber of American civic values, left, right, and center. We have had disagreements over court rulings, but never had an administration that has been so ready to just say no when a court says you have to do this. That is threatening at a different and much deeper level than the regular kind of push-pull of the separation of powers between the executive and the courts. We have a president who really is attempting to become an autocrat and in some ways has succeeded.
Yes.
That's Pete Buttigieg.
In so many ways.
On NPR, yeah.
I mean, for him to come out and say that he's not one to exaggerate.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. He's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
But that's quite an observation.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just a bad president. I mean, this is something we've never seen before.
That's right. It's micromanagement at the presidential level. And I want to also read a text here. And this is from our unofficial program director. Remember, he used to give us input all the time.
Doug?
No.
What are you talking about?
There is no name to it. It was 1701.
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to 1701?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
He texted us last Friday. Happened to go through the old text to see if we missed anything.
Yeah.
And he texted this: hat tip to John Peterson. That's why I'm reading it. Hat tip to John Peterson for predicting this rise of authoritarianism last year.
Yeah.
Those who thought he was cranky need to wake up.
Wow.
There was an F word in there, but I'm not exactly going to read that yet.
Okay. All right.
And then Matt, of course, we just heard from Matt, but Matt, I thought your text was pretty well stated. Civic media will be needed more than ever in the coming months and years as we need our local, accurate news.
Yes.
How can we, the people, support you guys? Thanks for what you do.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. We'll give him our bank accounts in just a few moments.
Okay.
The station's bank account.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Wait, didn't we? Did we?
You predicted it. You predicted all of this, John.
Well, thank you.
You predicted the chaos and confusion, and the fear and the uncertainty, the hatred. You predicted it all.
I wish we had a Sir Topham Hatt clip that we could play. As you two guys have created. Anybody remember Sir Topham Hatt?
You've told me who this guy. I can't remember.
Thomas the Tank
Oh,
Engine.
Thomas the Tank.
Yeah, he's the guy in charge, and he's never happy with the engines. Never. And that's the thing. That's why he's known for this particular line. Do you have that for him? You two guys?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for it right now.
Okay.
Give me a second.
All right.
Okay. Sir Topham Hatt.
Yeah.
Okay. Dom is continuing to look here.
There's only about 7 cuts, so you can pick any one of them, but it's okay. All right,
He's still
anyway,
looking.
I want to go to the first story here in Idiocracy, and that is FCC Chair Brendan Carr. We're going to kind of review some of the things that happened last week, but because they're very, very important in what they say. Brendan Carr said Sinclair Broadcasting has every right to demand that Jimmy Kimmel donate to Turning Point USA. This is the FCC chair telling Kimmel that it wouldn't be bad if he donated a little money, a little scratch.
Really?
I'm just like, what? This is
extortion?
Extortion.
Yeah.
Let's listen to cut 133.
According to the New York Times, late Wednesday, I'm just quoting here, Sinclair, another owner of many local TV stations, said that it would also suspend Mr. Kimmel's program and called on Mr. Kimmel to apologize and make a meaningful personal donation to Mr. Kirk's family and the activist political group Turning Point USA. Do you think that's an appropriate remedy of the situation?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think Sinclair has every right to call for that. Again,
what?
If Sinclair affiliates with Disney, they take Disney contract, they have a contractual relationship with Disney, and that's between the two of them to figure out, what's going to make sense to make both of them comfortable with the relationship going forward. But again, over the years, it would be unthinkable for Sinclair, for Nexstar, for local TV stations to actually say, you know what? We're not going to take this particular programming that's coming out of New York and Hollywood and send it to Pennsylvania and Utah. And so the idea that local broadcasters feel like they can push back, I think that's a much, much healthier dynamic for the country right now.
Is there anything in that makes sense? Nothing. That is, yes. If we just had a little more extortion from the TV stations around the country, maybe those networks would toe the line a little bit. Can you imagine them trying to please, all the network affiliates in the country? Yeah. Well, I don't like this program. Could you pay us a little money and then we'll put it on? We're okay with it. This is the FCC chair, and this is the guy, this is Brendan Carr, who wrote that section on broadcasting in Project 2025. This is the guy, and this is their plan, and they're rolling it out, folks. Wow. Unstoppable.
That's scary.
All right, now, everybody's talking about how, they were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Actually, the celebrations weren't really celebrations. They were people who disagreed with Charlie Kirk and said so, and even quoted some of the lines that Charlie Kirk has given over the years. That's not a celebration, but that's the way they're describing it, okay? But wait a minute. Let's look in the mirror. Let's look back at the megas. I say Benny Johnson lied about Kirk's killer. Made the whole thing up. But he's on cable saying what he wants to say about the killer, that he's left, that it's a liberal. This is their agenda. They're killers. They're murderers. That left is a murder party. Well, no one's saying, hey, you're lying. You're exaggerating.
Yeah.
But they're calling us the liars.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to this as cut 134.
This is just a monumental shakeup to the media landscape. And on Monday, after all the questions we've gotten from the audience about Charlie Kirk and what happens now, where do we go from here? Clearly, things are changing, and it's going to start with the media, where a reckoning is happening right now, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, Rob, and thank you for having me on.
Benny Johnson.
I want to establish what Jimmy Kimmel did here, because the left, much like how they are trying to hide the fact that Charlie was politically assassinated by a Trantifa far left-wing sociopath who hated Charlie and hated conservatives.
None of that's true.
And so with hate in his heart, he inscribed Antifa and far left-wing LGBT messaging on bullets and sent them downrange to murder Charlie Kirk. They have tried to cover that up, and part of the cover-up was using Jimmy Kimmel's platform to say that Charlie was killed by a MAGA conservative. Now, left-wingers are trying now to rewrite history and say that Jimmy Kimmel was fired for a joke that he told. This is not a joke. Jimmy Kimmel said that Charlie Kirk deserved his assassination. Jimmy Kimmel said that Charlie Kirk shares in the blame for his own assassination. This is the commentary that Jimmy Kimmel made. It is utterly and completely indefensible. Jimmy Kimmel went on to then make fun of Charlie Kirk and make fun of President Trump, saying that he did not care about or love his friend. And so I want to establish that this is not a joke. This is a lie. Now, ABC has a lavish broadcast license that is granted to them by the American taxpayer. The American taxpayer pays money so that ABC News can be broadcast freely into millions of American homes.
Oh, brilliant.
They have a responsibility to broadcast true information in the public interest. It is a legally binding contract. And so by Jimmy Kimmel misinforming his audience, not only does he victim blame Charlie Kirk and say that Charlie Kirk deserved to get politically assassinated.
No, he never said that.
He's also lying to his audience, thus creating an unsafe environment for other conservatives, other Turning Point activists.
Exactly.
For you or me. He's saying that we deserved it, and more importantly, that if you go and kill a Trump supporter, that he will cover for you. That the left can go murder Trump supporters, and Jimmy Kimmel will go and whitewash it for you so that you don't get any blame and his side doesn't get any blame. That's what Kimmel did.
All right.
All
right.
Wow. Okay. Enough.
I've had way too much of that guy. I mean, that is all
crap.
It's just ridiculous stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's
too much.
The thing here is that obviously he's lying about the killer. He's lying about what Kimmel was doing and putting a target on all talk show, right-wing talk show hosts. You know, not happening. And, of course, he can go over the top. He can say anything he wants, and he's on cable. And, therefore, there is no public interest that he has to serve. It's not like over-the-air TV stations, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, with TV stations, they have a public service. They have to have a public service, a public, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a public service. You're from TV.
Yes.
You know what? There's a requirement from the FCC for over-the-air broadcasters that they have to serve the public interest.
And that community,
community.
I'm struggling to come up with the phrase too.
But it is a public interest, and here's the point of that. They take care of that usually during the week. They give away hours. They put hosts on. They cover community events.
Right.
that is their public service. They get rid of all of that on the weekends, and during the week, it's network programming that does not have that particular agenda. You can't require it 24/7 every second of the day of these broadcasters to do that.
Right. And by the way, who was that?
That was Benny Johnson.
Benny Johnson.
Benny Johnson. He's a podcaster.
Okay. Very good.
And he's the guy who got this whole thing started with the FCC Brendan Carr.
Unbelievable.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
The administration has taken advice from podcasters. We're in good hands.
It's 6:48. We're coming back with more of John and Gordy for a Monday after this.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
WMDX 92.7. It's John and Gordy in the morning.
6:52. We've got cloudy skies to start things out. A little bit of patchy fog during the early going, and temperatures in the upper 50s. We'll get into the upper 70s by this afternoon, and maybe a couple of showers or thunderstorms along the way. Got a text in here from Doug. We haven't heard from Doug very much lately in St. Francis. We were talking, I can't remember what the subject matter was, but we mentioned that...
we thought he quit.
He thought he quit, and then we mentioned some other unofficial program director.
Oh, yeah.
But Doug says, wait, you have more than one unofficial program director? I thought I was not only the only one, but also the most unofficial. Wow. So Doug's got he's got a problem with that.
A little insecure there.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, those who text us are the program directors.
Yeah.
You know, they're guiding this whole program.
You can text us. You can, on the Civic Media app, you can also call us, 608-879-8255.
I want to get to something that I promised I would get to it only because I have two Gen Zs at home, and they're both gamers. One a little more into gaming, but I thought I'd ask them, who is this Tyler Robinson guy? You know, now we heard Benny Johnson,
shooter.
Benny Johnson say who he was, but it was all absolutely inaccurate. He's not on the left. No. The thing here is Tyler Robinson is like other Gen Zers who game. It's confusing. It can be confusing. I want to read a statement from Michael Centers. He's a PhD candidate at Virginia Tech. He has the Aspect program out there, and he focuses on the translation of online culture in real-world politics, who, by the way, reflects my own son's interpretation, by the way, so that's why I'm reading it. He said of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson's political stance, what he was doing here with this act was very performative. He was performing internet culture, specifically mass shooting culture in general, with the etchings on the shell casings being memes, with the joking about having a manifesto. It's all very performative in that regard. And he also says he worries that the duration of discussion about Robinson might tell someone who is looking to make their name on this online shooter space, then maybe a target, a political target, is now better than a mass shooting situation because it gets more attention and people talk about it for a longer period of time, and it seems to make major social commentary. So that's his interpretation. That is actually my older son's interpretation. So there really, again, is no specific agenda. It is more a gaming culture.
Well, and don't you think this kid is 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he's mentally or emotionally troubled. I'm not sure how attached they are to any political leanings.
Exactly.
You know, you're right. It's a gaming culture kind of thing, and they're not. I mean, they could change day to day what their political affiliation is. It seems to me, you know, just looking from the outside.
And specifically, of course, you know, he had a relationship with a person in transition.
Yeah.
So he felt sympathetic to that individual, and maybe that's what prompted him to do what he did. We don't know.
Right.
Benny Johnson doesn't know. But this is all speculation. But again, it's the gaming culture that may be at the root of all of this, not that we're going to get rid of gaming. Okay, just to let you know. Let's go to the phones right now. We've got Charles from Milwaukee.
Good morning, Charles. What do you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm not sure what show Benny Johnson was watching. I was baffled by the things that he said. That Kimmel supposedly said. I was like, wow. I'm like, maybe that was a pre-recorded show that he was able to view, and then they scrapped that one and had Jimmy come out and say. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I didn't hear him say all of that crazy stuff about Charlie Kirk. He didn't say anything really about Charlie Kirk. His main thing was that this guy was brought up as a conservative, and like Donald Trump does. Donald Trump cares about nobody. That's why when they asked him that question about, you know, how do you feel about your friend? And he gave a quick answer, and then he started talking about this massive ballroom.
Yeah.
And I still say it's weird, guys, that we have not seen anything from this young man, nothing from his social media space, nothing. And everything is really hearsay. We haven't heard them find, usually reporters are always trying to find family members or whatever. We haven't seen them put the microphone in anybody's face about this young man. This is all what they're telling us. They could get on TV right now and say Russia is bombing us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it unless I saw planes dropping bombs. I don't trust anything this administration says. So everything that we're getting is what they're telling us, and we know that all they do is lie every time their mouths open.
It's gaslighting constantly.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen anything from this young man's social media footprint yet.
Right.
That's why I don't believe anything that they say. I believe there's more to the story. I'll ask you guys this, if you guys know. Where this event took place at, where Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, did they always have events there? Because I asked that because they say that this young man supposedly organized this shooting that far away within a week's time. So that's why I asked. Did they always have events at this same location?
Yeah.
Or how did he know that it was going to be at this location and be able to set up within a week's time?
That's probably a designated area, Charles. We've got to go. We're running up against a break here, but thanks for the call.
After we check in with news and weather, we'll be back and reveal today's very first Go for the green and gold text to win word. The keyword is coming up.
We'll talk about the memorial, too, to Charlie Kirk.
Stay with us.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.